The following is a special presentation of CBS Sports Colorado.
Tonight on All Access, the Avs are good, the Nuggets are good, the Broncos are good, the Rockies, not so much. But our better days on the horizon. We go in depth with MLB's Thomas Harding.
I think that the organization will get better before the team does.
The excitement around Denver's newest professional team continues to grow.
It's really important that we deliver a team that reflects the energy and the enthusiasm that this state and our people have.
We'll introduce you to Nick Cushing, the man charged with guiding Summit FC in their inaugural season. And as CEO Athletic Director Rick George gets ready to call it a career, the man who hired Coach Prime says you haven't seen anything yet.
The best days are ahead for him and his program, but also for this athletic department.
Michael Spencer gets George to reflect on his 13 years as AD. Advent Health All Access starts right now.
From CBS Sports Colorado, this is Advent Health All Access, brought to you by Advent Health. Your local community hospitals in Castle Rock, Denver, Littleton, Louisville, and Parker are now part of the Advent Health family. We're here to help you feel whole.
Good evening and welcome to All Access. And believe it or not, we are just 5 days away from the Rockies season opener on Friday in Miami. Is this the beginning of better days for the franchise? Let's go in depth with MLB's senior club reporter for the Rockies, Thomas Harding. So Thomas, I'll pose that question to you. Quite frankly, it would be hard for the Rockies to get worse. But do you see not just a team, but an organization here that's finally starting to move in the right direction?
I think that the organization will get better before the team does, meaning it's still a young team. There's a lot of transition going on. But when I look at this organization, when Paul DePodesta came in, he brought Josh Burns in, who had some experience with this team in the past. He's the general manager. They've also beefed up the organization. So it's two things. Number one, they have brought in some outside opinions, some outside influences. But what they did was the people that were here, a lot of the longtime Rockies people, they've held on to them because they need some institutional knowledge here. And when I look at the Rockies, I think that by beefing up the organization, maybe some better decisions will be made simply because there are more people in the room.
As you mentioned, the front office underwent a major overhaul this offseason, bringing in Paul DePodesta. He might be best known as getting played by Jonah Hill in Moneyball, but what does his influence mean for this organization?
Well, I think it means you've got a decision maker at the top that has done this before. Granted, there were 10 years in the NFL with the Cleveland Browns, but if you look at his work with the Oakland Athletics, then the New York Mets, and also the San Diego Padres for a brief period, you see a guy that has quite a bit of experience. And there was a time that he was the general manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers. 1 year was good, then after that, things got kind of rough. So he's taken a beating at times, but I think he's learned from that, and I think he's ready to get back into baseball and build an organization where he isn't the lone decision maker, but he's building one that should make decisions the right way.
One of the first big moves the front office made was taking the interim tag off of Warren Schaefer, making him the full-time manager. Were you surprised by that move, and is he the right guy for the job?
Going into this, I really wasn't sure what was going to happen, but it seemed like DePodesta and Warren Schaefer hit it off really well. Here's what I like about Warren Schaefer. They have built a really strong coaching staff when it comes to having opinions and ideas and different innovations there. And what I like about Warren Schaefer, from what I've seen so far, is that he can get a lot of smart people in the room and make sure that they complement each other rather than contrast with each other in a negative type of way. So Warren Schaefer strikes me as very much a leader when it comes to that, because this is going to be kind of a holistic thing. It's not going to be Schaefer just making a bunch of weird decisions here. There are going to be a lot of voices in the room, and I think that Schaefer has shown me, from just watching the way he operates, not only now but even last year, that he can take different personalities and mesh together and come up with a working coaching staff and a good message for his players.
That does seem to be a big part of the job. Now, the World Baseball Classic, we all saw that just wrapped up. A number of Rockies were in it and played pretty well. Ezekiel Tovar, had a couple of hits in the championship game for Venezuela. Michael Lorenzen pitched well for Italy. For most of these guys, these were really the biggest games they've ever played in. Can that experience on the big stage help them with the Rockies this year?
I do think that this will help a lot of the younger players there. Ezekiel Tovar, I'm expecting him to turn into a star. He was headed that way until he dealt with some injuries last year. Juan Mejia, a very good arm in the bullpen. I think that helped his growth pitching for the Dominican Republic. Now, some of the veteran players, they've been around a bit, and it was good just to get them in that atmosphere. I mean, we're talking about Willie Castro of Puerto Rico, an all-star 2 years ago with the Twins. He's going to be an important guy for the Rockies, and you look at pitchers like Jose Quintana and Michael Lorenzen. I think those guys have been through a lot at the major league level, and it was good to get them in a high-intensity atmosphere before going into the regular season.
All right, Thomas, last question for you. The Rockies have had 3 straight 100-loss seasons. In your eyes, what does a successful season look like for this Rockies team?
I think that toward the end of the season, if you see a future coming, meaning that some of the younger players, if they pop and show that they are part of the future, I think that's a success for the Rockies.
All right, Thomas Harding, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Up next, we go one-on-one with Summit FC head coach Nick Cushing, and he tells us the one thing that makes his team unique from all the others.
You're watching Advent Health All Access.
As the excitement continues to build for Denver Summit FC's home opener next Saturday, this season is about a whole lot more than just that one game. Our Romi Bean caught up with head coach Nick Cushing and talks to Coach about guiding a new team with tons of excitement into the professional ranks.
For Denver, right-footed shot to the bottom corner. Natalie means business today.
It's going to be a season of firsts for Denver Summit FC, something head coach Nick Cushing doesn't take lightly.
It's really exciting. It's a responsibility that we have to take serious because this season will live forever, right? It's a season of firsts. We will have a first home opener, we will have a first goal scorer, we will have a first win, and we have to celebrate those. But it's really important that we deliver a team that reflects the energy and the enthusiasm that this state and our people have.
With a blank slate, the inaugural team could have been built in any number of ways. Aside from great talent, a key focus was constructing a roster with deep ties to Colorado's soccer roots.
As it comes in towards Heaps for a header, and it is 3-0 for the United States.
The likes of Lindsay Heaps, Janine Sonis, Ali Brazier, they've been developed within this state. So we're going to have a real connection with our team here. It's very unique what we've got. We've got homegrown players in our team, and I'm not so sure any other NWSL team has that.
Can you talk to me a little bit about that? Because that felt like it was an emphasis to kind of get some of these Colorado-grown talent, and the community's certainly taken to that, but why was that important to you?
Well, I think first and foremost, they're the best players, so that helps. I'm really lucky that I'm working in a state that has created a lot of the US women's national teams, players, the talent. So that was important. You can win if you've got good players, but also to have a connection for younger players, boys and girls, to come to the stadium and see people like themselves, right, from the state that have played at Colorado Rush and Rail Colorado and other teams within that state. Really builds a bond and a connection between fans and club.
Well, what kind of style of play can we expect?
Yeah, I mean, I was 20 years at Manchester City and was fortunate enough to work with Pep Guardiola, and there is a possession element to the way that I want to play. But my time in MLS shaped the way that I see the game. We are in a salary cap league, and that means that you have to lend your style to the roster that you have. We will play forwards, we will attack the game, we will create a lot of fast attacking football, we will get a lot of numbers in the box, and I want to create chances. I think if you create consistent chances, you win games, but you also entertain the fans that are in the stadium.
And it's in! Melissa Kusler, her second goal for the Denver Summit.
And Colorado has long been ready for a women's professional soccer team. And it's certainly going to be a sight to see when Summit takes the pitch at Mile High for its inaugural home opener at the end of March.
Hopefully we can build that connection with our crowd. We can start to grow the atmosphere, and it starts and empower on that home opener that I'm so excited for it.
We can't wait either. Summit FC has sold over 50,000 tickets for Saturday's game, and they don't want to stop there. Tickets are still available. So what's the future hold for Coach Prime and CU? The Buffs' outgoing AD had a coy response.
That's something Fernando's going to have to deal with.
Up next, much more from Rick George as he prepares on his 13 years in Boulder and prepares to hand over the keys to Fernando Lobo.
This is Advent Health All Access.
Few bleed black and gold like CU Athletic Director Rick George. Before he was the school's AD, he was an assistant coach to Bill McCartney and helped the Buffs win their one and only national championship on the gridiron. Now, as he prepares to retire, he talks about hiring Coach Prime and the legacy he'll leave at the foot of the Flatirons.
That's something Fernando's going to have to deal with.
Rick George has a lot to laugh about as he winds down his time at CU after 13 years as director of athletics.
When you look back at your legacy, what do you hope that people will remember about the Rick George era at CU?
Just that, we developed some incredible student athlete support programs that I think are second to none in this country. To be able to see young men and women achieve their dreams and their goals in college and be able to get that degree and watch them walk down that stage and then go off and have families be incredible members of their communities. I mean, that's the thing I'm most proud of. It's all about the student athlete.
George is leaving CU at a time when schools and student athletes are adopting to new rules regarding revenue sharing and trying to navigate what's next in the ever-changing world of name, image, and likeness and the transfer portal.
There are a lot of people that are concerned about the future of college athletics. Are you?
I think at some point smart people need to get around the table and we need to have discussions about what do we want this to look like moving forward. I'm happy that we're in an era where our student athletes can benefit financially, but I also know it creates challenges.
The biggest move George made at CU came in 2022.
Prime time!
When he hired Deion Sanders.
You and Coach Prime are going to be linked together forever because you were the guy who brought him here to Boulder.
Yep.
Peer into your crystal ball for me. When you look at the Coach Prime era, when it's all said and done, what do you think it looks like?
Well, I think what it looks like is that we had the worst program in America before he got here. One of the worst, if not the worst. And he's brought us back to relevancy, and I think the best days are ahead for him and his program, but also for this athletic department.
As for his future?
I don't think I'll ever ride off into the sunset.
George will still be going to games, but now it'll be to watch his grandkids.
I will spend more time watching Maddie and Harper in their athletic contests that they have and being around, being more present for them. And, who knows what the future will look like, I love being at Colorado. It's been a blessing of my life to have spent over 17 years here from my first stop to this one. So this will always be home to us. And, we'll see what happens next.
Now, as he prepares to leave, he does so as only the 6th full-time AD in CU history. His replacement, Fernando Lobo, is the 7th. We're back in a moment. You're watching Advent Health All Access.
You're watching Advent Health All Access.
With time over the middle, wide open at the 40-yard line is Jalen Waddle, and he turns on the speed. 2 into the end zone, caught for the touchdown! Caught for the touchdown! Waddle! Tagovailoa under pressure, found a hole for Jalen Waddle, got a block and got free. Waddle with the speed, takes it inside the 30, keeps on going all the way home. Tua looking deep, he's got a man, touchdown, number 2 for Waddle.
All that angst and agita from Broncos fans about the lack of activity this offseason, and really, George Paton is cooking up a big-time trade to bring in a big-time player. Waddle's one of the fastest players in the entire league, and he instantly adds an explosive element to a Broncos offense that really was lacking it last year. Yes, the price was high, but when it's time for the draft and the Broncos aren't on the clock, just turn on Jalen Waddle highlights instead. Besides, the draft is for the future. This team is playing for the now. This trade should tell you one thing. The Broncos are pushing their chips into the middle of the table and going all in. It's Super Bowl or bust. That'll do it for us on All Access. Have a good night.